Okay, welcome. Today we're going to do a little project by popular demand. It was a project I did and posted this past weekend. I did a couple versions um, called one Lonely All Night, but ended up calling it All is Calm, All is Bright. So it's going to be a Christmas card painting for me, so I think that's what we're going to stick with. All is calm, all is bright. Okay, let me show you what we got done here. I've got, what I did was just get a picture of a barn, just any old picture, and with some transfer paper, I copied that image on to the canvas and then covered it with some black gesso, just painted it in. This is just easier in class, easier to get the perspective right on the barn. I think when people take the knife, try to scrape things off, the perspective gets very wonky, gets out of just can look bad. So this just allows anybody, by doing this method, to get the perspective right on your barn. It says right in the picture you take, so you get it right there. Then I also take and transfer that copy onto some contact paper. And what I'll do is take that contact paper and cover that up so that way this barn's going to end up being red. I know this barn is kind of a gray, but we're going to have this barn being red. The way it keeps the barn clean while we're doing the other painting until we're ready to paint it red. Now, so for all you purists out there who think this is not the way it's done, in the Joy of Painting Season 7, he used duct tape to create, also I got a little moon up here. He used duct tape to create the sun and put it on there, and he had pre-painted the canvas with yellow acrylic, so he did some things different. So here we just have some black acrylic. I just kind of did the tree just a basic shape where I want it to be, because that gives me a nice little S-curve going in, which helps create distance. But we're going to paint over that with oils. I just want to see where it was. So that's the only reason we have that there. So then we have liquid white over everything except my barn here. And I just want to get some white-based medium. You can use liquid white, fast flow white, magic white, whatever you want. I got to say, this is not advertised as a Bob Ross class. It's not a Bob Ross painting, so it's not. I'm going to be doing some techniques that are different, so I just want you to understand this is not a Ross class. There may be some similarities to things, but this is not a Ross class. So anyway, now we've got the whole canvas covered with some our white-based medium. On our colors, let some colors go across the screen there. All right, I'll just tell you what the colors are. In the TV studio, when I did paintings, I always wore sunglasses because the lights are so bright. I'm at my home studio now; the lights aren't so bright. I can't see with the sunglasses on, so we're gonna go that way. Got some Mountain Mix, some Phthalo Blue, Titanium White. Got several different reds there to get the color and shading on the barn like we wanted, just from other brands of paint. But I had some Cad Red Deep, some Cad Red Light, and even Cad Orange, and some yellow just to do our little Christmas lights. Okay, so now I'm going to start with, I add a little bit of Phthalo Blue to my Mountain Mix because that gives me a little bit of otherwise it's a gray or nighttime. And you can add as much blue as you want, but if you add too much blue, it becomes very cold. So we're going to go right into our Mountain Mix. We'll load that brush up. Mountain Mix with just a little bit of blue added to it. And we want to get the top of this canvas nice and dark. We want to get this nice. You can see now it's a bluish gray. If you want to use bluer, grayer, it's up to you. Go whichever way you want to go. It don't matter to me at all. It's your painting. But we want to get this top pretty dark, so some clouds. We're going to have some clouds. Yeah, sometime tonight you see some clouds around the moon. We're going to try to capture that in this. And we want to get some of this color all the way down. Make this nice and dark up here. We'll go a little darker up here. Start at the top and work your way down so you keep it darker at the top. You want it a little lighter as you get to the. I'll take my moon off there. You want it lighter as you get down toward the horizon here. You want it a little bit lighter. Then you take off some of that excess color. You're going to need some shadow on that snow down here. That's just some excess color. Now we're just going to work out some of our brush strokes. Work out some of our brush strokes. Get some of that base color all the way down here. Let's see, just get out some of the brush strokes. So I first did this painting, posted it just a couple days ago. I wasn't sure, the barn looked a little weak. Just wasn't sure about the whole thing, but man, got a good response. A lot of people asking for a tutorial, so have nothing going on today, so a tutorial we will do. Okay, get that nice dark sky. So we got a little split screen here. Let's see if this one, little split screen. Let's work with that a little bit. We got a little close-up screen. We'll get ready to do that tree. All right, we get all those brush strokes out of there. All those brush strokes out of there. Get some of that excess color down here. All right, we're gonna go with just a little bit of titanium white. We want a little bit of glow around that moon. So we just get a little bit of color on a brush. Really tap it down so you don't end up doing big any white globs there. I want a little bit of a glow around the moon. Not much, but a little bit of glow. Kind of work it out. Just a little bit of glow. That'll set that moon deep into the sky. Deep into the sky. And as we know, the moon is a few miles away. All right, let's go just a little bit more of a glow around that moon. Kind of work out that glow into the clouds. Got a nice glow around that moon. So we set this brush down. Take a knife out here. I want to pull that moon off now. Let's pull that moon off. Now we got a real hard edge around that moon. We don't want that, and then we'll show you what we'll do to work that out. So that's not the brush I wanted, but that's the brush we got. So we got a brush over here. We'll go with this one. I'm gonna take a little bit of white, a little bit of my white medium, a little bit of white. Just go ahead and create that. Get some white colors, get some white paint into that moon, and we're going to do some things to soften up that hard slime. I just want to get some color in here so we have some color to work with. I want to keep that shape, but I want to lose that harsh line. So if we get some color up in here, all the way to the outside, then we're going to take a mop brush. We're going to take a mop brush. Make sure it's a dry mop brush. And we're going up here with a wet mop brush. Take a dry mop brush, just going to go right around that outside. Right around that outside. We're just going to soften that moon up. I'll put a little more blue into that moon than I wanted to. We'll just take that towel, wipe some of that off. I think it's because my mop brush was still a little wet. I just saying I want to keep it. Didn't want to use a wet mop brush, and I took a wet mop brush up there. All right, we're going to go with a dry mop brush. Hope this is dry. Now we just want to soften that glow. Soften that glow around that moon. So again, think it's a wet mop brush. So we're going to take a brush here. There's a brush. We're going to create that. We're going to get that shape back to our moon. We lost some of that shape. Get that shape back. If you do this right, and have a dry mop brush, you don't lose that edge. But you see what happened when you had a wet mop brush, you kind of lost that edge. I didn't want to do that. But we'll just put some of that edge back. There we go, got a nice soft edge of that moon. But I'm going to keep pulling that blue color in there. Haven't done a video in quite a while, so we'll see if we can stumble through this one. There, we get our shape back. They say if we'd had a dry mop brush, we wouldn't have destroyed that shape like we did. But we got our moon back. Everybody knows the moon shape is round, so we can stick with that. Now, in that painting, we had some loose clouds kind of lit up. So we're gonna take a fan brush. We'll take a fan brush, get some titanium white on there, and let's see. Let's have a cloud. The edge of a cloud kind of glowing right here. Now we want to take, what I like to do is take a 2-inch brush. It can be a dirty one, don't have to be a clean one. Let me get some of this excess color off here. Now we're just going to pull some of that color back. Pull some of that color back. So we just want the edge lit up. Just want the edge lit up. And while you have some of that color on your brush, you can give the illusion of a far off or a cloud that's not so lit up right there. So I just took the paint that I had right here on the brush, Just kind of move some of that back there. It just kind of creates another layer of clouds. Get that dark color in there. Okay, let's create a couple more clouds. Got a little bit of a moon glow on them. Let's see. Let's say we got one in front of that one. So it'll be a little brighter in front of that one. He'll kind of come down this way, kind of work his way up and off. Gotta let him go that way. Then we go back to our blending brush. Let's get that 2-inch brush. Just kind of pull some of that color back. Pull some of that color back. Don't lose that edge that's lit up by that. Don't lose that edge that's lit up by that moon. You want to keep that. That's what gives it that nighttime feeling, that moon kind of peeking through there. Maybe we'll do one more. Maybe we'll do one more just to give some balance to it, get some more of that white paint. Have this one right here, off to that side. And you never want to frame the moon out exactly, so I'm going to leave that side open. Leave that side open. Bring that down here. Some of that color. A little bit of color over here. Some loose clouds. Into the night. Nice and loose, and no real plan to it. Just let it happen. Get some clouds off over there. Kind of pull that back. Pull that color around. Get some shape to that cloud. Just kind of lightly set those clouds into the sky. And that quick, how we got a nice deep sky. Some clouds lit up by that moon. Pretty simple. I like the way that works. I like the way that looks. I keep my hands clean here. Keep my hands clean. Okay, we're going to come down. We're going to create a little bit of a. We'll do that brush. One little bit of a horizon back there. So we'll keep the snow. The shadow of the snow. So we'll make sure we have some of this dark color all. Let's go back to this scene. Make sure we have some color all over the bottom of that canvas. We'll go back to that same fan brush. Use that fan brush for about a lot of things, but not the Christmas tree today. Let's say we got well, hang on. Let's get a little bit. We're gonna take some of our dark color, but we don't want it too dark. We're gonna create some far off distant foothills back here. So we'll take a little bit of our titanium white and a little bit of our dark color. If it's too dark, it'll really bring those shapes forward. And we want them far off in the distance. So you can see we got a light value. Got a light value here. We're going to create just some far off hills that'll be just kind of break up that horizon there to have some element of interest there. But you don't want it too dark. So you don't want it too dark, or it'll really bring it forward. And you don't want it to come forward. You want to keep them far off, because color value, the darker they are, brings things forward. Okay, just a little bit of a white on that fan brush. Just a little bit of a white. Maybe just a little bit of highlight, because that's right under that bright moon. So you got a little bit of highlight right there. Maybe a little bit over here. Like I said, those are soft and quiet. Just gives a little interest back there. Now we'll just take some clean white. That moon shone. We're going to kind of create just like a road coming back this way. A lot of that's going to be behind that tree. But we can't go back and paint this behind that tree once we're done. So we're going to get some of that bright snow back behind that tree, that barn here. So I got a dirty fan brush, so it's really killing my white paint. Bring that all around there. So we got a road going all the way back there off to those far off hills. A little bit of highlight back there. See, once we set that tree, that barn down, that'll really give some feel that area going back. Okay, we got a nice sky, nice foothill, got a ground set up. Let's see what we can do with that barn. Let's see what we can do with that barn. What we need to do is get a knife here and pull that barn, pull that contact paper off. Pull that contact paper. Okay, we got a contact paper pulled off there. We need to get a little bit of a clear based medium on it, whether it's liquid clear glazing, linseed oil. I don't care what you do. You want to get that barn wet, so we do a wet on wet technique. So the paint will move around You just want to get that barn wet. You see, I didn't cover the roof because it's going to be covered with snow, so there's no point in getting it all covered with black gesso. We're just going to cover it with white again. We get that all covered with our clear base medium. And you notice how the contact paper didn't cover the whole barn, and that's okay because we're going to cover all of it with snow, so it's no worries whatsoever. Okay, we're going to take a liner brush. We're going to take a liner brush. We're going to take our deepest red. Let me show you here. We got 4 shades of red. We're going to get our deepest red, and we're going to start the side of the barn that's in the shadow. These boards are straight, so we just want to, with this liner brush, just create some boards, just the feel, just the illusion of some boards. What we do is, so we got a close up on this. Just get some of that red. You see, they don't have to be perfect. You want to keep them straight up and down. You don't want too crooked. But this is an old weathered barn. These boards just kind of just disappear off to the back of that barn. Some color all the way back there. Just the illusion of some boards. Now I'm going to wipe that clean. I'm going to go with a little brighter red. I'm going to go a little brighter red because there's a little bit of that moonlight hitting this side of the barn. And where you really want, you want this corner. You want that corner to be a little bit brighter. We'll come back and make that corner brighter because that's what will really make that corner stand out. Let's just get some color on this side, then we'll come back and give a little detail to it. Get some of that red there. Like I say, in class, if you take and scrape off, kind of create that dark value, then add color, add all that, it can work, but for the most part, students really struggle with it and the barns are really out of shape. So by doing it this way, just in my mind, just keeps the barn in a better shape. So you're happy, your students are happy, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. All right, we'll keep making these barns. You want to think there's an eave right there, so you don't want to get in that eave, but keep some of these boards coming down. Like I said, it's an old weathered barn. Some of these boards are a little crooked. Just gives it some character. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Keep some of these boards coming down, all the way down to the ground. Like I said, we want this side to pop over here. We want this corner. That'll really give you that. Right now, see, the whole barn looks flat. But if you give a little bit of a orange as a highlight for red, we go a little bit of orange, maybe a touch of yellow, and just to brighten it up a little bit. You brighten up that corner. It makes that corner pop. And it gives some shape to that barn. Give some shape. So you don't have a flat barn. There. I can live with that. Now we need a couple details to this barn. Couple details. So I'm working at home instead of the TV station today. I can do things other than, let's go to split screen. Let's go to split screen. We need a little bit of a dark color. We don't have to go with any kind of black. We just got our mountain mix color. We want that eave to be nice and dark before we put some snow on it. I see a little window up here at the top of this barn where the hayloft is. Maybe there's a window here. Some windows going down that barn. Of course, we have a big old door. Big old door goes there. A lot of these barns, those boards never went from top to bottom. You always see kind of a line here where there's boards at the top and boards at the bottom. So I'll give some height, some definition to that little barn. I can live with that as a barn. I can live with that. Once you do all of these details, get a tree here and a tree over here, I'll be really pleased with that. So let's see if we can put some snow on that barn. Let's see if we can put some snow on that barn. So with a little bit of pure white, we can go on this side because this side of the barn is in the moonlight. Be a brighter white. This side of the barn over here, a little bit out of the moonlight. So it's going to have a little bit of a blue value to it, which is just shadow, snow kind of color. I'm getting my bigger knife. Why am I working with my small knife here? Anyway, some bluish, some dirty snow color. Got crazy working my small knife. Get that rip on there. And then that barn shape where it comes down this side will be even a little darker yet because it's a little bit farther. It's a little bit farther out of the moonlight. So we'll have a little bit more shadow to it. Try to keep your snow all going the same way. But these old barn roofs, they were made out of metal, so you'd see some of the joints, the seams where the metal. So if you see some lines coming down, don't worry about it. Put your metal seams. They come all the way down. Make sure you get that whole area covered up. Now, I never like a straight edge where snow is, because sometimes you have that snow kind of sliding off, falling off. So a nice rough edge, and it really gives it some realism that I like. Okay, we'll go back to that small knife for just a second. Make sure we get some snow all the way back to the this back edge right here. Snow all the way back there. Like I said, those lines coming down at that old metal roof. That's a believable barn to me. I can live with that. I can live with that. Now let's take we're gonna have a tree in front of this barn, but first we need to set that barn down on the ground. We need to set that barn on the ground. Let's go back to that old fan brush we got with some dirty snow, because that'll be in the shadow. We're gonna go with some of our dark color and some white. Set that snow, set that barn right on the ground, and pull. If your light's over here, you're gonna have a shadow behind that barn. You only have a shadow, so let's create a shadow. Just some of that dark color we had, and just give some continuity to the painting. Just loosely kind of put some of that color in. You go back to the big brush, just kind of soft, give you a soft edge for that shadow. Kind of set that barn in the ground, gives it some nice shape in there. And we're going to put a little bit of snow in front of the barn. And I like to even have this little barn doors open. You have a little bit of this dirty snow color going into the barn, going right into that door. Pull some of that color down. Get some more of that white coming around. Now, in the original painting, I had a big old dead tree on this side. We're going to do that again. I'm going to create a nice tree over here before we do that big Christmas tree. Let's say we have a tree kind of growing right here. Let's get a little small flat brush that'll cut through that snow. We'll cut through that snow here. Load that brush up with some color. Breaking off this way. Now we'll make sure we get that trunk nice and big on that trunk. Set him into the ground. Now I got a long liner brush. I like these long liner brushes. Let's go to our close-up here. Let's go to our close-up. Now with a little bit thinner, and a little bit of our dark color, so we get a thin consistency. We roll this liner brush around in that paint, roll it around that paint. We get a nice thin consistency on this long liner brush. You can do some nice long limbs. Now I got that brush loaded up. Let's come down to this limb. There's some branches coming off that. Lots of branches. Lots of branches. Had some branches come off that side. I'm going to push those back. Branches coming off this side, that side. You see how many branches I'm doing with one load up on that long liner brush. You can do branches all day with this thing. Lots of little branches. Have something coming off this way. Let's take this side up. Some branches come off that way. A branch comes in this way. Up in front of that gives it some nice depth. Maybe there's something coming off this way over here. Do a few more here. You see that long liner brush, how many limbs I did with one load of paint. Lots of limbs, lots of limbs. Lots of limbs. Give it some realism. Lots of limbs, lots of little limbs, lots of limbs coming off. I know in that original we had a little bit of snow, so we get a little bit of our thin white, a little bit of our thick white. And just down here where some places in the tree it might catch a little snow. Just in a few places to help give it some realism. Little places where it's catching the snow. I can live with that. Maybe set that tree down, pull a little bit of that shadow back with that tree. How quick we did that. I'll drop my liner brush into my red paint. I'm gonna do that. Get a little sloppy today. Say I haven't painted here in my studio in quite some time. Let's go back to camera one. Haven't painted here in my studio in quite some time. Get a little sloppy. Okay, before we do that Christmas tree, let's see if we can come back and do a little fence going around that barn, and then we'll work on that Christmas tree. And that's what everybody was wanting to see. So we got a little bit of dark color, say there's a fence post here. Comes around that way, and then starts working its way back. All the way back. Got some boards that come across the top. Let's say we got a fence post here. And take it right on across. Sometimes with your finger you can just create a little bit of shadow. For most fence posts, just a little bit of shadow. Alright, let's put just a little bit of white. Have a little bit of snow on that fence, just a little bit. Set those into the ground. Okay, now it's time for a big old Christmas tree. Now, most people make evergreens with fan brush. That's the way you're taught to do it. And then you can do a lot of nice trees with them. This will just show you a different technique by using a filbert. We're going to use a filbert. We're just going to start with our dark color at first. Just load that brush up in the dark color. Let's just start making the top of that tree. Make the top of that tree, just kind of come down where we know that trunk is. Now just little limbs like you would do with the fan brush. Little limbs, make sure you got paint on there. You just kind of touch. Let's go to our close-up. See if that works. Well, let's try that. So you can see both ways. That close-up is a little blurry. Just little touches. Make that a little taller there. Little touches. Kind of work your way back and forth. And as the limbs come down, you start seeing more of the limbs. Now you start getting that brush bending a little bit. I know some people like that Z pattern. You can do that Z pattern to get started. As you come out, you kind of pop out a little more limbs. You start getting a lot of little loose things on that tree, which really kind of gives some light to that tree. I really like the way this filbert brush can do it. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if that close up, it's just a little blurry, but we'll try that. See, lots of little things going on this tree. Lots of little things. Let's say we'll do our Z pattern, just kind of fill up the middle. Keep that brush loaded up. Kind of pop out a limb every now and then. Lots of little things going on. Lots of little things. This brush, yeah, it takes a little more effort, but I think you really like the way it turns out. It really gives you a lot of little things going on this tree. I think it'll make it worth the time. Let's bring this tree all the way down. Here's a nice big old Christmas tree. But you gotta be careful, you don't want to get your limbs too far out before you get too low. Pop one of them out every now and then, pop one out. This filbert brush just gives you a whole different look to this tree. A whole different look. Like I said, just gives you a lot of little things going on the branches, which I really like the way it looks. And from the response I got online, I think a lot of people like that look too. Just a little different. I like to learn different things, try different things, different techniques. And when I get ready to do the lights on this tree, you'll see I learned that from my friend and mentor, Miss Marion Dutton, over in Europe, over in the UK. Learned from her how to do them lights. We're going to show you here. I got to give her full credit for that, but I really like the effect of that. This old Christmas tree. I'm going to light this thing up here a little bit. Let's get all these little things down here. We'll have something pop out every now and then, pop out here. Look at that tree. Is that looking like a Christmas tree or is that looking like a Christmas tree? I like the way that's looking. I like the way that's looking. Okay, let's go back to that. Go back to our split screen. Now we're going to wipe this brush off. We'll wipe this brush off a little bit. Wipe this brush off a little bit. We're going to create some phthalo blue and some titanium white. We're going to create a shadowy kind of color, snow shadow. We don't get this too light yet. We wanted a blue value. Let me see here. So you got a blue, kind of a baby blue. It's a shadowy snow kind of color. But when you load this brush up at times, you want to get paint on the end, and you're just going to tap a little bit. You're not going to be pushing and doing a big blob like it. You want to get this paint loaded up. If you need to add just a little bit of thinner medium to make it work. Like I say, you're just getting it out on the end of that brush. Just out on the end of that brush. Now we're just going to touch. A little bit of a touch. And think about where those limbs are. Each time you touch, start losing paint, go back and get more paint. Wipe your brush off, get more paint. Get more paint. Because you don't want to start getting a bunch of blobs on there. But you're going to have snow all over this tree. We're going to come back and highlight some of the snow and get several different values going into this tree. But you can see this tree really building up, really building up. So each time you go back, wipe your brush off, get a little bit more of this shadowy snow. But don't kill all your darks. All your darks is what gives that tree some depth in there. Go back over here, get some of that shadowy snow. Wipe your brush clean. I'm getting paint all over me. Like a rookie here. But see, each time you come back and load, start with a clean brush. Just get some of that shadowy color snow. Clean off that dirty snow. Get some more of the white. You're just working with the tip of this brush. Just working with the tip. You see all those little things going on in that evergreen tree. Lots of things going on in this evergreen tree. This might take a little bit longer, but it is well worth the effort. Well worth the effort for the results you get with it. Once again, you got to keep the paint out on the tip of that brush. Keep the paint out on the tip. Make sure you're keeping fresh paint because it'll pick up that dark color. That'll kill your color. But get some of this shadowy snow all the way across this tree. All the way across this tree. Once again, you're just working with the tip of this brush. You don't want to kill all those darks. Look how nice and full that tree looks. Nice and full. Now I'm going to wipe that brush off. I'm going to stop wiping my hands off too. I'm getting to be a mess here. Keep myself clean here. Get my hands clean. We're going to come back and load this brush up now with just some straight white. We're going to clean our brush up into our thinner. And we're going to go with just white now. Just white. Let's go back to this. Just plain old white. Got some of your liquid white in it. Some straight titanium white. You want a kind of a thinner value this time. But once again, you're just touching with the tip of that brush. Just touch with the tip of that brush. Don't really push down on it. But you got to think, if the moon's lighting up this side, this is where you're going to have your brightest white. And once you start picking up some of that dark color, go back and get some, wipe that brush off, get just white. You want just white on here. It's just this side of the tree mainly. This side of the tree. Keep that brush clean. Keep that brush clean. You work with just the tip. Just the tip of that brush. Some more of that white over here. Just the tip of that brush. Just to get some highlight on this side of the tree. It's not on both sides of the tree. This side of the tree is in the dark. Keep that brush loaded up. Keep the brush clean. And so you're just working with the tip. I can't stress that enough. And don't kill all that dark. Don't kill all that wonderful dark. That dark will really show the light of the snow then. The tree is really coming to life. I like the way that's looking. Get some more of your white. Keep your brush clean. Get some of that snow down in this part of that tree. Maybe just a little bit here and there. And I really like that snow-covered tree. Really like how that's looking. Now I'm going to set that tree down in the ground before we start doing the lights. Everybody wants to see the lights, but we're going to set that tree down the ground. We'll take our fan brush, got some yellow, and we'll just take that brush we had. So with some of our dark color, this tree would have a shadow over here. So underneath that tree, we're just going to set that tree down into a shadow. Get some of that darker color over here. Put that brush back, go back with one of our big brushes. Kind of loosely go over that shadow, just kind of soften down those edges. Kind of softens down that edge, kind of creates the feel of a nice shadow back over there. Once again, you got that moonlight glowing there, you want to see a shadow. You want to see a shadow. All right, let's do some lights. Before we do the lights, I'm going to get some bit yellow off that fan brush. Let's just get a little bit more white coming up this way so we can save them lights for the last. Finish that tree off with the lights. We'll just get lots of highlights coming down here from that moonlight. This is just straight white. Straight white. You got that moon coming right here, so this snow will be nice and bright through here. And we're going to take our big brush. Once again, just kind of soften that down. Soften that down. But I like all those highs and lows. Give you some nice wind blown kind of feel of that snow. You can have a little bit of that snow coming through that shadow. A little bit of that snow coming through that shadow. Soften it down. Now it's time to light that tree up. Time to light that tree up. Like I say, I learned this technique from Marion Dutton, a wonderful technique. She has a video out there that she shared after I posted this, so people can find it. But I'll just give you see another way of doing it. So I'm gonna go with a liner brush. Let me find my right liner brush. Find my right liner brush. Got liner brushes everywhere, except for where I need it. Okay, we got a liner brush. Okay, first, what you gotta do is important. Take a Q-tip, just a normal, basic Q-tip. We're gonna have a star on that tree. We're gonna have some yellow on that star, so we're just gonna take and wipe off a little bit of that blue paint, just so we don't get a green star. Then say we're gonna think about where we want some lights on this tree. Don't put it in this darkest color because you have too much paint to rub off. Let's see if we'll go to close up on this, see if this will help. So you gotta think about it. I'm gonna have mine on the edge, so and don't have so many lights you kind of lose the value of the tree. So I'm gonna have a light there, come down a little bit, have a light here. Just out of the ends, because when you hang lights, they're out on the ends of the limbs anyway. Say we have one coming down over here. So we're just wiping off some of that blue. Say we got one right here. So it's just a normal Q-tip. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go down over here. Go 5. Well, 1 into the tree a little bit, not too much. Still with just a Q-tip going here. Oh, that close-up looks a little blurry. I hope you can see that. But if not, we'll go back to the split screen. Let's go with the split screen. There we go. All right, now we're going to do some yellow lights, then we'll come back and do some red. We're going to start with some yellow, then do some red. I lost my liner brush again already. All right, with just some straight yellow. Just some straight yellow. I'm gonna put some yellow right into that light. Just put some yellow in there. Go back and get some more yellow. If you can see that, just put some yellow where I wiped that paint off. Don't get up into the blue. Just get some yellow. Just tap into some yellow where we wiped that off with that Q-tip. So we're gonna do some yellow lights and come back with some red lights. Put some yellow right there. Just drop some of that yellow where we had the Q-tips, where we wiped it off. Let's say we had one over here. And then we had one down there. We're going to come back to some red lights too. So this will be the red light. I started to say red light district. Well, this is a Christmas painting. We're not going there. All right, with a little bit of your thin white and a little bit of your thick white. I'm going to put a little bit of that white right in there. I'm just going to flick up. Just flick up a little bit. Just give a little bit of a glistening glow to that. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can see that. I hope it's coming through. Once again, with some liquid white and a little bit of titanium white. Go down where I had one of these lights. Just pull out a little bit. Just pull out a little bit. Just to give the illusion of some illumination going on. Just some illumination. Just pull out a little bit. I hope that's coming through on screen. Let's get a little bit more of your white medium, a little bit more of your white. Come down to this one. Just kind of pull up a little bit. Pull out. So each time I'm doing this, I'm going back and getting clean paint. Pull out a little bit. Get some more of your white. More of your white. Just come down to this one. Pull up a little bit. Just give some illumination going on there. There's some yellow lights all lit up. Let's go with some more Q-tips. Let's create some red lights here. Let's say we got one right here. Maybe one down over here. 2. See if we get 1, 3. Wipe off that excess paint so the rest of your color will stick there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get one up here. 5. All right, now with that same brush, I'm just gonna wipe off that yellow. We're gonna go with our CAD red light. Our CAD red light, because most reds are transparent. We want this to show up. Then we just put some red. Just get some of that red color right into there. Now you can see that red popping in there. We have one right here. We have one right here. We have one right here. One there. Now we'll just go once again, go back to our white. Just get a little bit of white on the end of that brush. I'm just going to flip. You don't want to kill that red color. Just pull out a little bit of light. Just pull out a little bit of light. If you get too much of the white in there, that'll turn a pink. It'll turn a pink kind of color, and you lose your light. So just pull out a little bit of illumination. So you can keep you'll keep that red color there. You don't want to kill the red. Just pull out a little bit of a glow, a little bit of a illuminance, whatever the right word is for that. We'll come up here, make that one glow a little bit. Make that one glow. Look at those lights glowing. Oh, we got one right there we missed. Look at those lights glowing. Look at those lights glowing. How quickly that little simple painting come together. And I hope you guys see how that tree is so much different, but using the same tool, but how effective it can be. And Marion's technique on the lights just really makes for a nice tree. Let's see, I'll just see a couple things we can do here. Let's get a little bit of our thin white medium. Maybe put just a little bit of light so you can see where those windows are. And I like the way that's come together. That looks like full painting to me. So with this little liner brush, a little bit of my dark color, I'm gonna come down here. My favorite thing to do is painting. Sign my JDW. There you go. Like I say, when I first did this painting, I called it Lonely Old Night. because I just seen some solitude I felt with this. But the second time I did it without the barn, I think all is calm, all is bright. It has a Christmassy kind of feel to it. The solitude is okay. It feels all right, and turned out. I really liked the way this painting turned out. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this. If you give it a try, feel free to send me a copy of this. I'll try to get this posted in several places. But there you go. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching.